Okay, hey, thank you for joining us today on Heart and Hustle. And today I've got a big time professional here today, but also a really good friend. Actually, well, I'm not going to share how we became friends, but hey, buddy, it's good to see you, Mr. George Lopez, out of our Indian Wells office there in the California desert. And George comes to us with 19 years of experience. It's like he started when he was 10, it looks like. But George has been with us for quite some time. He does an incredible business in California, and it really is a pleasure and an honor to be here with you today, George. So thank you for taking some time with me today.
Of course. Thank you, Troy.
Yeah, you bet, you bet. Well, George, let's dive right in. There's some standard questions I want to ask you so people can get to know you a little bit better. And one of the well, let's just kick right off. So, who are you outside of real estate? I know you are inside of real estate, but nobody really knows the George Lopez outside of real estate. And most importantly, how does that show up for your clients?
Well, gosh, outside of real estate, I'm really pretty much the same. I
Okay,
really live and breathe real estate. But when
sure.
I'm not, I'm trying to do things that I enjoy doing. Golfing is one of the big things that I love to do.
Okay,
So I do that. I try to once a week if I can. Of course, work does get in the way of that. Um, I love to go boating. So, but I guess what all boils down to, I'm a social person. I like to be out and about and meeting people and talking to people.
yeah. Yeah, I would put a big exclamation behind that. You are a social individual, and George, I think the one thing that I've noticed about you is real estate isn't just a career. You've made it a lifestyle. I mean, it really folds into everything you do on a daily basis, which most of our successful real estate professionals, that's exactly what they do. It's a lifestyle for them, and they love it. On the golf course, I'm sure you've done a little business there.
Actually, I have. When I first got into the business, I know all realtors, well, how am I going to get business? You either join a team or, you're kind of like, I would say that you're not taught that when you go through real estate school.
Mhm.
So one of my ideas was I'm going to go out on the golf course and I'm going to go out as a single. I'm going to ask to be paired with out of towners. So it was a way for me to meet people from out of the area and understanding we're a golf community and we have people that come from all over the country and out of the country. So it was a great way for me to do something I enjoyed doing and meeting people that could create opportunities. So that was a big part in my initial starting in the business. Of course, that has shifted quite a bit, but that was how I started.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what a fun way to do it. Do something you love where you're going to be in the best mood ever and you're going to be in the zone of what where you should be that makes you the happiest and then combine some work with that at the same time. Amazing
Right.
results. So,
What you made the comment about it's my life, like how real estate is really my life. I don't look at it as a job. I
mhm,
look at it as something that I love to do,
mhm.
and that translates into how I help people.
Yeah, and that's perfect. That's exactly. You're doing something you love to do, and you're helping people. Okay, I can't think of a much better lifestyle than that. So that's wonderful.
Exactly.
All right, George, tell me why did you? So 19 years ago, something went in between those 2 years of yours to say, I think I'm going to get into real estate. What made you choose real estate, and what makes you still choose it today?
So it's kind of, I'll try to keep it short, but I started out in high school working for a fast food company. That went through college, after college. So I was in the restaurant business. I ended up buying some franchises. I owned four franchises here locally in the desert. And so my background is serving customers and having that understanding about serving customers. And at one point, I just got burned out on doing that. It was 25 years in the making. I got burned out on doing that. My mom is a real estate agent, probably going on close to 40 years. And at a young age, she encouraged me to take the test. I think I was 19 or so. I took the test. I didn't pass it, but I wasn't really like, this isn't for me. I didn't really know anything about it. And I was about doing what I was already doing, the restaurant stuff. And my goal was to own my own franchise, which I achieved. Um, and then, like I said, I had burnout. And I went back to this, and my mom's still selling, doing great. Gosh, I could tell you a story of hers that most people like. It's amazing. Tiny little town selling 50 homes a year. Anyway, I looked at that and I had 57 employees and I was just kind of burnt out on all that.
Mhm.
So I looked at real estate as a natural transition. I looked at it as an opportunity to help people and to really have, at that time, I was looking at freedom of time and not having all these employees. So it was like going to be me, myself, and I. So
Right.
that's how I transitioned into real estate.
Yeah. And what keeps you here today?
I just love what I do. I don't, like I mentioned before, I don't find this work. I'm that type of guy. I'm a giver. I like to help people. And that's what I do. Um, Back with bringing in the social part of it. I try to put myself in places where I can be around people. And that to me has just been the key to my success.
Yeah. It's great. You hit a few points there that were interesting to me. You were in the service industry before you got into the service industry in real estate. That's not that's by design. There's a correlation. And when you look at some of the most successful real estate agents that I know, they've been in the service industry and they truly understand that service is just the bottom level. You need to elevate that up to a high level of hospitality to be wildly successful. And it's something our company is leaning into heavily this year, as a matter of fact. But George, I love the fact that look, you were just built. That's the way you were built. You were built to serve. You were built to do something greater with the public. And it sounds like you found that vein and were able to create a lifestyle from that. So I think it's amazing. So tell me, George, what do you do consistently that most agents either avoid or they make excuses around? What is it that you do that you see a lot of excuses being made that others aren't doing?
You know, that's for me. What I do is what we've been talking about is that I focus on what's right for the client. It's
Mm-hmm.
always about the client first. It's never about me. It's never about my team. And that's what I coach my team. It's always about the client, what's right for the client. So for me, that's a non negotiable. Like I teach my team, yes, you're working to earn money, but that's the reward you get for doing a great job for the client. And I preach to them, look, if you do a great job, that's how you grow your business. That's how you get referrals. So it utmost it has to be client first, always. That's non-negotiable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could not agree with you more. I mean, in our world, you're running an organization like this. We have two clients. We have our agents. You, George, are our number one client, and then we have your clients as well that we need to be serving at the highest level from a brokerage too. But that consistency of that client first mentality, and most people in our organization have that. That's the one thing I think that the fabric of our culture really is client first, which is important to me and it's important to the industry because as you've seen, George, some people are in this for the wrong reason. You're not one of those people for sure, but many people are really in it. They're chasing dollars and they're really not chasing what this industry was founded on, is helping people um, accomplish one of their biggest dreams. And then being along that journey of their life where they have different dreams and different needs throughout that journey to where we can be there to help them each step of the way. And I know that's something you do really good at with the continual amount of referrals that you get, the repeat business that you get, and just having that database that really helps you become the best version of you. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Um, if you could give me two non-negotiable tips that you use in your business daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, there's just two things that you have to do in your business to be successful. What would they be? And how can we help others with those two tips?
I think the obvious first one is what we just talked about. It's just
Mm-hmm.
doing what is right for the client. Always having that top of mind. Yeah, to me, that's like I said before. It's the most important. From there, it's just being truthful, being you, and not faking it. Following up is key. So I can get in front of a lot of people, but if I don't continue the follow up and nurturing the relationship, it doesn't go anywhere. So you just have to be, I guess, be a good person,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
those are the things I live by.
Yeah. It's two things you just said: clients over commission, because if you're doing what's right for the clients, the commissions will follow. And the second piece is integrity. Do what you say you're going to do. Don't lie.
Absolutely.
Be honest. Be the best version of yourself, because you know what that does? It breeds inside of you to continually be that best version of yourself. You don't have to try. It becomes a habit. And that's something that you do a great job of, George, and why I was excited to talk to you today to share with others in our organization, because you do a good job at it. You do live that lifestyle. And really, to recap, what we talked about is, lifestyle. Do what you love to do. More than likely, if you're doing what you love to do, you will find clients there. You just need to be more intentional about how you're doing what you love to do, which is exactly what you do on the golf course. Turn it into a lifestyle. If you're living the lifestyle that you're selling, then you're really not selling anything. You're just sharing. You're just building relationships. And then lastly, like you were talking about, have integrity. Have integrity. Do the right thing. Clients over commission any day of the week, because ultimately we're entrusted to help them make the best decisions possible. Ultimately, it's their decision to make, but they're hiring you, our professional, to help guide them to hopefully make the least amount of mistakes possible in that large transaction that they're doing. And hopefully there's no mistakes in that, but we also know how it goes in real estate too. So, well, George, I
You look
appreciate I appreciate you, buddy, so much. Any final words from you? And then on top of that, how can our network get a hold of you if they have clients to send to the Indian Wells, Palm Springs area?
Gosh, final words. I don't have any other final words, to be honest. I think we've said it all. We've captured it. Clients first is always a must, and having integrity, as you mentioned. Those, I think, if people do that, practice that, be good human beings, you can be great at this. I mean, I know some people are challenged, but you just got to find what works for you. We talked about the golf. Actually, I said that's not my focus anymore, but I still get business. Just closed one yesterday with a buddy that I was golfing with. So, do what you enjoy. Find a way that makes you happy. If it's work to you, you might think about doing something else, because it shouldn't be work. It is work, yes, of course, but it can be enjoyable.
Yeah.
As far as how to get a hold of me, through our network, I am part of the Relo team, so that's
Okay.
one way. And I do lots of online marketing, so hopefully someone could just Google me, but and find me from that aspect. But I other than that, I don't know how else to say that.
Sure, sure. Well, George, appreciate you sharing your insights today. Thank you so much for being a part of this family and this organization. You truly are a shining light. I greatly enjoy working with you. I just know that in your market specifically, if someone's working with you, they're in the best hands that they can be with. So I appreciate all you're doing. Thanks for sharing, and we'll see you soon, my friend.
All right. Thanks a lot.
You bet. Bye bye.